Jesus freak here. Now, I tend to feel like people's concern for me is kind of disproportionate, especially given a lot of you guys don't know me from Adam. So, earlier today, I went to the supermarket, as I do. I walked there, got a cab back, as I do. See, I like to go for a walk now and then. But if I'm holding a lot of groceries, it's just more convenient to grab a cab, and $5 isn't a lot of money for that. Did I get what I went for? Did I get exactly what I went for? No. Did I get more or less what I went for? Yes. The They were out of the large jars of hot taco sauce that I bought. But they had the smaller jars. One thing I've noticed is that over the years, they stopped making a lot of store brand this or that. The only brand they even offer anymore is Ortega. Anyway, I had accidentally left out a bag of shredded Parmesan Romano blend, so I had to chuck it. And when I went to the store earlier in the week, I couldn't find it. Different store. Well, this one doesn't carry it, but they have shredded Parmesan and shredded Romano. So I said, well, good enough. Just use a little one, a little of the other. I had a craving for some corn muffins, so I got resources so I can make some corn muffins. Been thinking of trying to make some biscuits, just some drop biscuits and see how they come out. I haven't had made those in years. They didn't have the mix that I wanted. The little Jiffy boxes, they have a biscuit version of them. Same size as the boxes of corn muffin mix, which is what I bought. And I said, you know what? I have almost everything I need. I think, to make it. I just needed some muffin tins for the corn muffins, and I needed some Crisco for the biscuits because I'm like, I'm not sure that butter's quite the right thing I want since the kind of mix I use had, Crisco cut into the mix. And I said, well, I have shortening at home, but it's animal shortening. I said, I don't know that lard is going to quite give the effect I want. So I bought some Crisco. So I'm going to see about, making these. An interesting, perhaps, thing I've been doing is I've been, I'll make stuff that I might typically associate with breakfast, take pictures of it, so that I can create this big virtual spread. And originally I was going to try to do it as one picture. I'm like, that's just unrealistic. Because that's just a ridiculous amount of food for one person. See, wherever the English went, they left behind a version of their full breakfast. And the United States is no exception. There's even, different variations in the North and the South. But fry ups, you know, they they came with the English. And they were adapted to our tastes here over the centuries. Heck, even McDonald's had a version, although I'm not sure if they still do. They called it the Big Breakfast. Somehow I want to say it was, it was a scrambled egg, sausage, pancake, cake, and biscuit. And I have a ton of different things that I associate with breakfast and hardly ever make them. This morning I had a couple slices of toast, put some orange marmalade on them. Because why not? I don't typically have toast with anything. I enjoy cooking. I mean, yeah, there's a stereotype, so, oh, it should be a woman's thing, but it's like, a lot of people are living without a significant other in the house, without, they're living on their own. Everyone should know how to cook. And not just nuke some convenience food. Because convenience food is garbage for you. I know I eat it all the time. Well, not all the time, but it ain't good for you. That's why Americans are so big. Because we're eating convenience food instead of food. And maybe part of it's because we don't know what to make. Even I only have a small handful of things I know how to cook. I'm always open to ideas. It don't mean I necessarily use them, but a couple months ago, someone mentioned something on Facebook, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to try this out because, as you know, it's just a variation of something I already do. Fixed it, liked it. I'm terrible for that. To get me to try anything new is like pulling teeth. But once you get me to, I'll take ideas from anywhere. I've bought cookbooks in the past just for inspiration. I get ideas from other people. I take them and then I adapt them. You might tell me you make something such and such a way. And then I'll go make my own version of it. And it's probably pretty different from what you told me. Because I've adapted it to my own taste. You use bell peppers? I use Anaheim peppers. You use paprika? I use cayenne pepper. That's just the kind of way I am. Of course, I'm well aware of, if I fix something for, like, I've made stuff for potlucks. When I make stuff for other people, I don't go to those extremes. I make substitutions. And if I'm going to use Anaheim peppers in something I make for myself, I'm going to use Cubanelles if I'm making something for someone else. Because Cubanelles aren't any hotter than bell peppers. But I'm so used to working with chili peppers that I'd rather use a Cubanelle because a Cubanelle is a chili pepper. It just happens to not have any heat. And I sometimes remove ingredients. If you saw what I call a scrambled egg, it has almost no resemblance to what most people call scrambled eggs. It's yellow. That's about it. That's because I prefer to just beat it up one time and I don't mix any additional ingredients into the egg. Some people mix a little milk into it. I don't do that. I never did. My meatloaf has a somewhat different texture than most people's meatloaf because I don't use egg in it. If I fill it up with anything other than the breadcrumbs, it's Worcestershire sauce. And of course, there's the local variations. For example, a lot of people make meatloaf, they top it with ketchup. Because of where I grew up, I top it with brown gravy, sometimes with mushrooms. Some people would be horrified by how I make grits. I put maple syrup on them. I cook them the same way I cook other similar, like I cook oatmeal, like I cook farina. It's all the same to me. And I use maple syrup because I'm from upstate New York. And it's just like, pancakes and waffles. I eat them with maple syrup. Maple syrup, not the fake stuff. There's always the real stuff. I know I don't have a lot of money. I pay extra to get the real stuff. And even more if I can support a local business in the process. So, all in all, I'll say my run this morning was a success. It wasn't exactly for what I went out to get, but it was close enough. Jesus, freak out.